All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for your patience. Coach Leach is here. We'll do questions in the room and then questions on the line. So go ahead, Theo.
Mike, can you explain the origin of the big gulp left play that you kind of alluded to on Twitter yesterday?
He likes big gulps. No, I think that, well, it's kind of old. I mean, it's funny because you forget, when one generation drifts into the next, but used to be pretty prevalent. I mean, there was a time when about a third of the teams you played would run some form of swinging gate, which was a variety of formations where somebody else snapped in. If you, if you didn't like the look, you'd shift over into a regular formation. And then, so, I know this engineer from Microsoft, and he likes football and says, hey, have you ever thought about this, one of those idea guys that's, very brilliant guy, and he's got a lot of ideas, probably may have a Rubik's Cube, but decided to do football besides. And so then, so he came up with a bunch of formations and pretty good ideas, and sounded interesting, got me thinking. So basically on the enthusiasm and energy of some of his thoughts and what he saw, we decided, we'd mess with it, and it was fun for our players and things. And so, well, we did it, so yeah.
What's his name, and how did you kind of get in touch with him, the Microsoft engineer?
I don't know if he wants his name out there, so, but I mean, he may. If I hear he does, I'll tell you. I don't have any problem with that. It's just, kind of a private citizen guy. But if he, ask me Wednesday. By then, maybe I'll know if he cares. But, but I don't know if he cares or not. But, well, I knew him, I know his brother and know some other people around him, and then, just hanging out, spending time together. One thing leads to the next. And hey, have you ever thought of this? Have you ever thought of that? We'll draw it up. Let's see what it is. Well, I was thinking this is this, And you could do a whole offense out of all that stuff. You could do a whole offense out of a lot of things. And so, honestly, in football, there's no shortage of good ideas. There's a shortage of time and the opportunity to teach all those good ideas. So anyways, thought that was a good one, so we did it.
You said you named it after a friend. How did that friend get that nickname?
There's this guy, this national guy that thinks he's an expert on everything, which I don't really think he is, but I figured we'd name the deal after him.
Mike, is this the first time you've...
And that friend of mine, I do believe, will end up selling big gulps at some point. Go ahead.
Is this the first time you've taken advice like that from a non-coach?
No, it's not. You kind of listen, to, and, and everybody says they don't, but you kind of have your ear to the ground. You're always thinking. I had this janitor at Valdosta State. He was the guy that worked our building. He was a fantastic guy, just a great guy. He used to come in my office and we'd talk and stuff, and he was a great guy. I'm not sure what happened to him or where he's at nowadays, but he would, and we'd talk about football, and he would have just kind of everything from body language observations and stuff that were really good. I was coaching the offensive line then, and he, would just come in and say, I think the linemen, they're having trouble just because, it seems like, we move our feet, but we used to get deeper on our, when they used to get deeper when they'd set up, and you'd go back and watch film and you're looking at it, and all of a sudden he's right, because there's a point as a coach where, and I think every profession's like this, where you get a little locked up in scheme, if this guy goes here, oh yeah, that'd be very clever. If this guy goes there, oh yeah, that'd be smart. Oh, if we do that, oh, then we got him there, and so it goes like that, where you can get lost a certain amount as far as just little techniques, where somebody's eyes are, just simple stuff like enthusiasm and body language, and I think that all that's important, and so you do kind of try to filter, what you think's best, and sometimes somebody can see something you can't just because, you know, you sit there and pour over film and watch film and, you know, you're thinking about drawing little lines and stuff like that. It's pretty easy to lose track of some things.
Other questions in the room for Coach?
The second quarter against Wyoming was sort of like the 2012 matchup against UCLA, where you dominated every statistical category in time of possession, but you just couldn't get a lead. Are there any common denominators you kind of find where you fall in that situation?
I don't, you know, the biggest thing, you just gotta punch your way out of it. You know, sometimes the ball doesn't roll your way. We had a fumble, which nobody could get a good view of it other than the TV copy, which that's not the one they check out. I didn't think it was a fumble. So that was a big blow, and then the safety, that was a big blow, and so then it's all back to back, and then everybody's gotta do your job and, you know, just, punch your way out of it, which I thought we did, and I thought it was impressive we did with a young team like we have.
And you guys entered the fourth quarter with just a 1-point lead, and you came out winning by 22. It's kind of putting someone away in the fourth quarter a reflection of leadership, in your opinion?
I think it's kind of a reflection of, you know, those guys that play the game, and I've always said from the beginning, I'd rather be the guy that plays, because you learn a lot about your team and some things like that. I think really, the first half, we were, you know, we had to get all the kinks worked out, which I thought we did in a decent fashion. We did without hurting ourselves as much as we could have. Of course, the other side of it is we certainly had a chance to score more points. Although I thought we were pretty disjointed the first half, offensively. And we didn't have a great second quarter on defense either, but, and then the second half, I thought we reacted really well. I thought our defense played extremely well. And then it took us a while to get on the field, but other than that first drive, we were pretty explosive on offense the whole, second half, and I thought that was good, and I thought, you know, when you consider all the new faces that we have on the team, I thought that was impressive, for them to come together. And, you know, these guys aren't as familiar with one another as players on all the other teams are, so some of that under live firing in the game is part of the process too.
You always preached to your team that you need to be a team, be the most excited to play, be the best at doing their job. Do you feel like you did that last week?
Yeah, I did. I thought we were a team even when we hit adversity. I thought we were the most excited to play, and I thought we were able to do our job longer than they were. I thought that they, you know, everybody talks about the elevation. Well, it's just conditioning, you know, how long can you go and how precise can you be? And I thought we were better at that than they were. But I thought those two safeties that played for them were outstanding. I mean, both of them, but 28's one of my favorite players. And I don't know him. I'd like to meet him. I wish I could have caught up to him, but I thought he was outstanding. I'm not sure he won't play well in the NFL somewhere, but I thought he was really a good player. If you wanted to know where the ball was, just look at where he was going, because that's where it was. So, yeah.
You talked about having like a lot of fresh faces. Is it kind of settling for those guys that this Saturday was the home opener, a place where you guys had a lot of success last year?
I think so, and then also we played such a great, good defense, because I think Wyoming's gonna win a bunch of games. I think Wyoming's gonna win a bunch of games this year, and so I was proud of our guys, and then, it's good to be home, it's good to, play San Jose, and looking forward to getting a week better.
Mike, how did your young D linemen that got thrown in there, how did they look?
Well, we thought we got a deal, a distinction for the guy that does their job better than everybody, you know, kind of the mechanic of the game, and it was Willie Rogers, so I thought that was pretty impressive. You know, Willie Rogers, we thought, he played really well. We thought, Civils played well, and we thought, Willie Taylor stripped that ball, so I thought a bunch of those young guys really did a pretty good job, yeah.
Have you gotten a chance to watch San Jose State play yet?
Yeah, Watched them all night last night, and I'll watch them all night tonight. They got some explosive guys, and, you know, I think, early season wise, they're trying to find an identity like everybody else, but they have some, you know, kind of sleek, fast, explosive guys.
I think they played 3 quarterbacks ended up playing for them.
What's that?
I think 3 quarterbacks ended up playing for them in their first game. Is that kind of tough to prepare for with not knowing which guy, might have to prepare for all 3?
Yeah, it's tough for everybody to prepare. It's tough for them to prepare for too. You know, I mean, ask their receivers what it's like catching balls from 3 quarterbacks. It seems it's tough for both sides to prepare for, it seems like. I don't know. You know, Tracy's very clever, and we'll let him sort out how to stop them, so, yeah.
I know Alex started up in the press box and then kind of moved down to the field. Tracy was in the press box Saturday. Is that an idea that he had the whole time, or did you kind of want him up there?
You know, well, because they have kind of a different style. I wanted Alex on the field because Alex was kind of the voice of the whole defense. I mean, if they're gonna hear from Alex all week long, then I wanted them to hear it on Saturday, where, you know, Tracy's a little different. Tracy's, you know, kind of leaves it to the assistants. I mean, coordinates it in the boardroom and stuff like that, and then leaves it, in other words, the assistants of each group's kind of the voice of them. So it's a little different, I think, you know.
How was the communication with a bunch of new coaches, a new DC, a lot of new defensive players? That's something that can probably be an obstacle in a game. Do you think that was pretty smooth for you guys?
Yeah, I thought it was real smooth, and I thought they adjusted well too. I thought, you know, because you know, Wyoming, other than a few big plays, never really got loose on us. The worst thing we did on defense was let them off the hook a few times in long yardage situations. We didn't give up any real sustained drives other than the first drive of the second half, which was a heck of a drive. I mean, they kept the ball a long time, the whole thing, but then after that, I thought they adjusted around things really well. And then the other thing is both coaches and players, there wasn't a lot of panic out there, which I thought was really beneficial, especially for a young team in a first game.
Who do you think? Question for you?
Let's go to questions on the phone. Any questions on the phone for Coach Leach?
Well, we answered them all, so I guess that's it.
Any questions on the phone line for Coach Leach?
Nope.
Okay, and then back in the room.
Who was primarily involved in recruiting Patrick Nunn? Was that Jim Mastro?
I'm not sure. That's a shoot, Emmerich would know that right off the top. I don't think so. I mean, because I'm not sure. That's a good question. I don't think it was Mastro.
Okay, so what would you guys like out of him? He was a pretty versatile guy in high school. Could play receiver, could play DB. What else kind of struck you guys about him while you guys were looking at him?
I'm trying to think who it was. I can't remember. Emmerich could tell you who recruited Patrick Nunn. Shoot, I don't know.
Coach, I think Shaver ended up.
That's what I was
ended up
thinking.
at the
I was
end.
gonna say that, but I just didn't wanna misstate it.
Yeah,
So Shaver recruited Nunn.
yeah, he ended up.
See, and I kinda recall that, but, anyway, so Bill said it, so it's gotta be true. But anyway, he was,
Mastro started and then Shaver closed out.
he was a very versatile player, and, he's a very versatile player, could do a lot of things, and, from the beginning, we planned to put him on defense, and he you know, he's a real rangy guy. Showed out in camp some, you know, and is doing some good stuff early for us, and we get him more consistent, and he'll get bigger. He's naturally he's gonna be a big kid, so, even bigger than he is now.
Any other questions in the room for Coach? Go ahead.
All right, our fan question of the week comes from a fan. It's It's asking, growing up in Northwest Wyoming, did you ever